and we're back today. Like I said yesterday, today's going to be a short stream, so it's only going to be about an hour, and I'm going to take a further look at achievements. Yesterday we were actually discussing achievements and what people's ideas on them should be, and I've put a post on the forums. So if you want to go check that out in our forums, forum.slugisco.com, you can have a look for in general discussion. There's the post on it, and it's all the ideas we came up with, and I'm still looking for more ideas. So if you have any ideas of what achievements should be in the game, do let me know. But what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be looking at putting the basic achievements for completing a level into the level level itself. And into the level methods. So we're going to look at that. We're also going to that'll probably be it for today, to be honest. I've got a lot of stuff to do on achievements in the back end, which I don't want to do during a level, and we're not going to be able to test this on stream because I have to do a package build in order for it to be actually testable. However, so basically none of these will actually work, but we can come up with the structure for it. A lot of stuff comes from from player controller functions, so we'll be looking at that. Didn't like that one. Looks like it might be a crash. Didn't like me trying to put that in the in the level methods. I actually think the engine might have crashed. That's a good start for today, isn't it? So, whilst the engine figures out whether it's crashed or not, let's talk about the achievements we jotted down yesterday. I just go to the forum post, and I know this is actually a topic that's come up in the forums before, because one of our regular forum users linked to it underneath the post. Oh, it's decided it hasn't crashed, but it definitely hasn't pasted anything. Okay. Okay, so it looks to me like we can only access this through the level blueprint, interestingly enough. Okay, we'll have to remember that one. Yeah, it's not letting me do it there. To be fair, I might come up with my own achievement stuff in the level methods, which might be a more sensible approach to this. If I run it in the level methods, But that's going to be a more complicated approach. So for now, we will just have a look in here and come up with a rough idea of what we want to achieve. Okay, so the process of dealing with these achievements, because we've got to make calls to online systems, we've got to make calls to Steam or GOG, depending on where the achievements sit. And we've got to offer an alternative for people who aren't using any of those systems. I'm not sure what Itch's stance is on the situation, but basically with GOG, if we're on GOG, we're using GOG systems. We can't add anything to Steam whilst we're on GOG. With Itch, because it's not the same, we might actually be able to send information to Itch's systems, not Itch's systems, to Steam systems. To be honest, more likely we won't be when you're not logged into Steam. Well, you're not running the game through Steam. We probably won't be sending achievements to Steam. Okay, so this is the basic process of getting an achievement. So we're talking cache the achievements, which takes its time, and when it succeeds, it runs this, which is get the progress of one of the cached achievements. Now this won't do anything at the minute because we're not actually logged into Steam. Not logged into Steam. We can't. Like I say, we can't access Steam without a packaged build, and packaging takes a while. So I'll be running tests for this in a separate thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a temporary thing into the level methods, because I'm going to call the achievements through level methods. However, I have to write that in C++ in the game mode. So this is a test of the online subsystem. At the minute, all this does, I believe, is return the user. However, what I'm going to exchange that for is the achievement. Okay, so progress achievement. That's a name, isn't it? Yeah. Some achievements can have like a... Oh, I've done it again. I've got to learn to spell achievement correctly. It's got an extra E in it. Basically, this achievement ID will come in and it will call some function on level methods. Okay, so having a look at this, we can have achievement progress, achievement name, my guess is the progress is probably a value from 0 to 1. Might not be though. Right, I'm gonna have a quick look at what Steam's expecting with achievements. Okay, so stats, achievements. Achievement progress. That's my leaderboards. Right, well, I'll have to look that up later. But essentially, we've got an achievement progress value. I'm not quite sure how it works, whether that's a value from 0 to 1, or whether it's from 0 to any value you wish. It might be. And maybe 1 means it's finished. We will see. Either way. It's expecting a float. Okay, so there's an issue here, which is probably why it's not why the achievement stuff isn't actually showing up. I've just realised what it is. It's because we're inside a function, and inside a function we can't have these timed progresses. So really, what we want, we can't really have this progress achievement thing. So my guess go back to event graph. Let's find a spare space. If I just plonk something here, yeah, okay, we can actually do the functions from here. Okay, so I need to delete this because I can't do it here. Okay, so we're going to do something different here then. We're going, rather than a progress achievement caching it, we're going to cache it separately. Damn it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is when the scoreboard at the end of the level kicks in, or possibly at the start of the level, I'm going to cache the achievements. So that should make a call and cache them. Then I'm going to store a variable . And we're going to use this to work out if we can actually do anything with the achievement. So first things first, when you call progress achievement, we need a few inputs here. Name. Progress. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and cache them at the start of the level, and then at the end of the level, when it comes to progress them, it's going to see if they're cached and then try and progress them. If it's failed to cache them, then what I guess it needs to do is it needs to try again once it has successfully cached them. It's a bit of a tricky one, really. bind event to, I don't know if it's going to work like this. I'm very much exploring this as I'm going. I'm likely to actually build this in C++ eventually, but this will give me a route through the process. But that's definitely not going to help me. So there's no way of binding the event there. I'll have to look into it. The other way of doing it is to try and cache it down here as you progress the achievement. Right, this is what we have to work with in blueprints. Should be enough to get the job done. Like I said, I'll probably end up doing this in C++ anyway. So when this comes through, I think we're going to have to do achievements separately in the game as well. This is caching the achievement descriptions, which is getting the text about the achievements. However, I'm not sure how that works with localization. Probably doesn't. I know on Steam you can get localizations for them, but that might be only for viewing through Steam's systems. As such, the achievements as such, I'll probably want separate descriptions in the game for the various achievements, which is going to be a whole new layer of complication because we'll probably have a CSV full of them. That is probably how we'll operate this. So we'll have a few functions for fetching achievement information from our CSV, which will include things like the name that we need to send to Steam in order to progress the achievement, all that sort of stuff. Okay. So if the achievement's cached, maybe that doesn't matter. these are more to be fair, not all achievements need to be shown all the time. We've got systems in the game for see if I can find them on the scoreboard systems. They're just disconnected at the minute. Here, achievements. So there's actually already systems in the game for displaying the achievements on the score screen. Oh, it's quite a lot to wrap my head around. I believe there's space in the score screen for 3 achievements. Don't think there's space for any more. So we'll be aiming to display. Right, Daniel Sly, good to have you back with us. And Pactane. So if we beat the level on Insane, will achievements for hard and below be recorded, or we'll have to play them difficult again? Yeah, my plan is to unlock all achievements below that standard. So yeah, you do a level on Insane, it'll unlock all of them for that level. However, not all achievements are like that. So there's the basic achievements, which I don't think I'm going to show on the score screen. So they're like beat it on Insane, beat it on normal, beat it on hard, and then there's going to be the interesting achievements, which I think are going to be shown on the score screen. So there'll be things like do it in this amount of time, kill this creature, etc., etc. At the minute, I'm just exploring the achievement system in Unreal. It's quite a lot to learn. The achievements are actually linked to your Steam account or your GOG account, depending on what you're running it on. So it'll be per account, not per save. And if you're not playing on Steam or GOG, I think what we're going to do is we'll have an internal system for looking at the achievements as well, is my plan. Which, if you're not linked to either of those systems, it will just if you're not linked to either of those systems, it'll just display them in the achievements save file. But that will, like I say, that will only happen if you're not linked to those systems. And I'm not going to make that save file unlock achievements for those systems, because then people can just pass around a save file. You are going to actually have to do them yourself. Okay, so achievement name, progress, user tag doesn't actually do anything. Here we're going to also have to... Yeah. I want to have a look at these achievements in the scoreboard. This is the test level at the minute, so... Let's have a look at these achievements, shall we? How they look. Because I might be able to use the same thing in... I know I'll keep nearly finishing a sentence. Must be driving you mad. I think I need another coffee. Right, so right bracket finishes the level. I think there's something as well about we need to set achievements up in the INI files of the thing. Like I say, that I've got a lot to learn here, and this is what I'll be doing for the rest of the day as well. 3.x will eventually have challenge modes, yes. Not quite sure what they're going to be yet, but and we're still not sure how the mechanics are going to work on them. Although I think the likely thing is forward flies, but we're not quite sure yet. Especially as we're not sure how they will work mechanically. Okay, so in level methods, I'm looking for the scoreboard stuff. Using standard controls. Oh, maybe it's just an event graph. Yeah, might be. Just put a box around this and I'll just call it achievement tests. Depends when we make the challenge. But if you are gonna attempt to do the insane difficulty on challenge mode, I don't think any player will be expecting a walk in the park. Okay, so achievements get added at that point. Hang on, is this victory or defeat? That's victory. I don't want victory. I want the defeat scoreboard. Looks like I've removed it from there. I'll do it here. Sorry. We're all good here. We are all good here. The minute I'm literally just testing what these look like. Although I do intend to turn them on. Even doing hard is difficult enough. Yes, it is. It is very difficult. Although I'm kind of proud of our level of difficulty. Yeah. Well, that didn't work. Just verify that this is actually being called. It's possible that the achievement stuff's been disconnected. I don't know why it would have been disconnected, but it's possible. Okay, so they are being added. Should we follow the path through? Okay, initialize scoreboards. Initialize all. Initialize achievements. Okay, so for a start, it's definitely only allowing 3 achievements to be added. Okay, so what's this? This is clearly the problem. It's hiding all the achievements, but why? If that had been true, it would have been fine. So what's this? If this value is less than or equal to this value, so achievement data structure, current value 0. Why is achievement data structure current value 0? Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so that's definitely adding them to that. The here. So this value, where are we? We're in scoreboard base. Value of achievements is being set there, and then we're running initialize all. Huh. I reckon that's using the wrong thing. I think that's wrong. I think scoreboard base has been changed in the meantime. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so these look like they're going to match achievement icons. Ooh. Ah, so we should be able to, I guess, look at the different achievements. Right. So I guess then we can come up with a rudimentary achievement dialogue thing. Oh, the hexagon. Yeah, it's just hexagon. It's a common theme throughout the whole game. So what they'll be is the achievement image will be in these, um, and that will match the one that's on Steam as well. That'll be the idea. There's a lot of work to do on these achievements, though. A lot of work. So we need the achievement stuff here to work, but we also need a separate dialogue to house all the achievements, which should also have a separate section for breaking down the achievements. I don't know how we want to break them down. Maybe break them down into campaign achievements, free play achievements, and then in campaign you can break them down into tier 1, tier 2, that sort of thing. I'm not sure about rewarding for achievements. I mean, the way a lot of games do it, they offer cosmetic rewards for achievements. So maybe that's a way of doing it. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I know StarCraft had like a reward system in the levels where you had to like collect certain stuff in levels, but I don't think that was linked to the achievement system. I think that was more an extra objective thing. Okay, so maybe some sort of dialogue that's about this big, has these achievement icons at the top, and then a full description of the achievement below it. Or maybe there's enough space for the full description there. I just think some achievements might get more confusing. Yeah, I guess so. You complete, if you finish a level, you could. Maybe the achievement system should be linked in with the wiki system. So many questions. I mean, the wiki system. I'm not sure where we got with that. Or at least this. We didn't get very far at all. Huh. You know what? This is actually ready to be populated. I say we don't get very far, but we did. The Queen is the heart of the comet. I think this is just generic stuff. I think. Well, I mean, there's still areas that this needs work. Like these buttons clearly haven't been formatted correctly. Well, that was always the idea. The idea was that the wiki would the wiki would contain all the information you needed, and that's why we haven't made stats more obvious, because they're meant to come from here. Yeah, that was always kind of what this was going to be. And also the information drop downs from the right, they're meant to have an extra icon at the top that you click it, it jumps to that page about it in the wiki, and it's searchable as well. So basically, if you wanted to know black ant stats, you could just type in black ant and it would come up, and you get all the stats you needed. But I think, well, we can at least get some of this stuff in. Maybe. But either way, I think this is a good starting point for my achievements. So if I copy this and just replace the insides with the achievements and a long description of them. And then categories down the left here. I think that would do it. Achievement of the Undergrowth. Yeah, you could call it that. Achievements of the Undergrowth. I think you would access the achievements probably from this menu screen. So there'd just be an extra button there called achievements. I don't think you need it there like the wiki. The wiki's good. Like the wiki's important, I think, to make it really obvious to people. And maybe you could have the wiki, if you press the wiki icon, it shows the wiki of the most recently given tip. So potentially what you could be interested in, it could open on that page. Yeah, maybe. But no, we need to get back on with the wiki as well. So the wiki achievements, I'm just giving myself more and more work to do. I rope you into these, Mike. You can help me with artwork on the achievements and writing on the wiki. I wrote quite a lot of it, you know. On our in our documents, there's quite a lot written. We're also looking to do an online version of the wiki as well. Just a website version of the wiki. But I'm not even sure we need that if there's a... if there's an in-game wiki. Not unless we link them somehow. But I think that'd get too complicated. Oh, I need to also be able to draw stats out of the stat files to go into the wiki. So we've actually got up-to-date stats for each ant, rather than hard code them in. Although some, by necessity, will be hard coded in because they're not. Attack speed's a bit of a funny one, for example, like attack damage, because attack speed is linked to animation speed. So getting the animation speed can be a bit tricky because it's based on each animation. So we might need to hard code that one in. Anyway, this is my mind's going off on a different trail of thought. Wiki. Damage calculation's a bit complicated. I mean, you could write it down into a formula, but there's quite a lot of different things at play with damage. I mean, we can follow the route through. The stream's only going to be up for another 12 minutes anyway, so we can do this as a final task. We can have a look at the damage calculation. 1 sec. Okay. Let me bring you in to Visual Studio. That didn't work. One sec. Okay. So this is where the damage taking happens. So first of all, it does a couple of checks to see if it's dead or if it can be attacked. Now, can be attacked is stuff like when the ladybird's flying away, it can't be attacked, that sort of thing. Now, then it rolls the evasion dice, which is an ability, I think, that is currently only on the workers, and they've got an evasion stat. They've got something like a 90% chance to avoid damage if you've taken that ability. So there's the evasion dice. So basically, if that dice is rolled less than the evasion value, it returns 0, and returning stops it here, so we don't do anything else. So if they evade, nothing happens. Temp attacking creep. Okay, so that's just setting some initial values, whether it comes from a projectile, and that's setting the piercing value. Piercing avoids resistances. So that's just setting the value. We haven't done anything with it yet. Okay, so this is just looking at damage. Who's the damage causer? Damaging creature runs a notification to let the rest of the game know a creature's taken damage. These are just events, they don't actually do anything. Okay, so temp final damage gets set to 0. We've got a temp armor reduced damage. So armor, a creature that has armor reduces the incoming damage at this point by their armor value. But there's a minimum armor damage as well. So basically it reduces the... So there's the armor that's coming to the calculation. Now these are the various damage types. So this is most of the calculation here. So if it's physical damage or thorns, this is a multiplier, so it uses the physical armor resistance that the creature's got. So 100% minus the percentage of physical armor resistance, and we pass piercing in there because piercing, like I said before, ignores armor or venom resistance. Not armor, it ignores physical or venom resistance. So that reduces the 100% to, let's say you've got 5% physical resistance. It reduces 100% to 95%. Then we multiply it by the damage reduced by the armor. So that's the final damage reduced by the armor. The temp final damage, yeah, it's that. It's a complicated formula. So there we are. So we've got an armor amount, which reduces it by a set amount. We've got a physical resistance and venom resistance, which reduces it by a percentage. The percentage is calculated, then multiplied by the armor reduced value. So the damage is reduced by the armor first, and then multiplied by the percentage. True damage is never reduced. Very few things have true damage, I think. So that true damage ignores armor and resistances. And trigger, that's if the damage is meant to just trigger something. It's not. Right, there's various other damage types as well, but these are kind of special cases. So there's flash damage buffs or flash heals, flash. So that they're not normal damage. They're special cases. So it's not really in the formula. So there's a maximum damage creatures can take. So after all of that, when just before it removes it from the final health, it checks the creature's stat called max single damage. If that's been set to an amount, then it reduces. Then if the value is over the max single damage, it then reduces it to the value of the max single damage. Some creatures have a max single damage. It's not many again. I think Leafcutter Mages have an ability that gives them that. And the Queens have that. So the Queens don't die too quickly. And then the health gets removed. So at that point, the decision is made. The health is removed. So that's essentially the damage formula. Now you could write that into one big formula. Yeah, it's not too bad. There's just the various aspects affecting it. Other than that, below this is the routines to deal with death. So if your health is less than 0, remove buffs, blah blah blah. Drop held actors, spawn a corpse. Not spawn a corpse, but set yourself to despawn. So that's what that does. Despawns after 6 seconds. Where's Rivardium resistance? No one knows about Rivardium. Yeah. Pokemon's got a gazillion abilities, doesn't it? There's certain circumstances where the damages come from an ally, and that's like the flash damage buff, the flash heal. So the way the flashes work is they get sent out like a damage, like a damage over an area, and then it buffs their damage and whatnot. Don't think anything has these yet. Oh, the flash damage buff. That's the army ants. The army ant mages have this. Don't think anything has a flash heal, a flash physical resistance, or a flash venom resistance yet. Stuff that's not been used. Uber resistance. To be fair, I was thinking about this. Ubers do AoE damage, and it's something I've been debating with the fire ants. Is whether the fire ants should do whether certain ants should have like AoE resistance, so they reduce damage if its source was an AoE. I'm not quite sure how I would do that, considering how the systems work. No, I think I know how you do it. You basically look at where the damage came from. So this the temp damaging creature. So this temp damaging creature that gets set. Up here. So I think you can. Yeah. So the abilities down towards the bottom. So the stun. Temp attacking creature here. So we can actually take a look at the creature that's attacking us, and we can have a look at its selected triggered ability. Temp ability. So where the ability that it came from, and it's using that to work out the effects that get applied. So basically you have a look to see if their temp ability. Ah, it's not ability, is it? No, it's not an ability. AoE comes from... Oh no, it is. They are abilities. I think all AoE damage in the game is abilities. Everything's abilities. What am I talking about? Even the basic attack's an ability. So... Yeah, I see what you mean. So you could do extra damage to the initial target, and then reduce damage over the area. Yeah, it's a possibility. Alright, something to think about anyway. Okay. Right, I think that's going to end the stream for now. I'm going to continue looking at achievements. I'm just going to keep hammering that out for the rest of today, and probably deep into next week as well, as the movement code is being sorted. I'm just going to go deeper and deeper into these achievements. I do need to come back to fire ants at some point because we started work on those. But at the moment, it would be nice if I could get at least some basic achievements into the game. So we've got somewhere to start basically with the achievements. Even if the only ones I add in initially are just the level completion achievements, it's somewhere to start, isn't it? And we'll also start trying to get the wiki going again, I think. Right. Well, as always, thanks very much for joining me. I know it's been a short one today. Look for me next week, usual Thursday slot. I'll try and be on time this time. I need to get better at that, be more consistent with the streams. But yeah, I'll see you then. So, yeah, and until next time, people, thanks very much for joining.